Wagwan YouTube, it's your boy Alex Dubs back with another reaction video. We reacting to Mopars, and we about to learn some new things about Australia and its crazy wildlife. So let's hop into the video.
This seal is such a menace that he routinely gets the cops called on him.
Really?
Introducing our protagonist, Neil the Seal, a 600 kilo absolute unit of a southern elephant seal from my home state of Tasmania in the land down under. Who is known for, above all else, being an absolute fucking
Wait. How big is he?
600 kilo absolute.
Holy shit. Bro, he's bigger than a minivan. Like, what the hell? Those Mini Coopers got nothing on him. Yo.
Unit of a southern elephant seal from my home state of Tasmania in the land down under. Who is known for, above all else, being an absolute fucking menace to polite society. But despite his crimes, we all still truly love him. But what are his crimes? Well, see, he seems to just fucking hate traffic cones and road safety in general. Has regularly been caught trespassing, and then once he has been caught trespassing, belligerently screaming at locals because they won't give him his fucking fish, and has been known to just block roads by plopping his fat ass down directly in the middle of them.
Nah, he is a true menace. Oh my god, what the hell? Yo, people are getting trolled by an elephant seal. Yeah, that's crazy.
Hands down, the funniest shit he has ever done was just straight stopping this random lady from going to work. I shit you not. This motherfucker crawled out of the ocean, up the beach, crossed the road, absolutely fucking bodied this woman's poor letterbox, and then proceeded to plant himself directly in front of her fucking car. She was then unable to go to work because this half-ton beefcake was camping her driveway for so damn long. Local news had time to drive out to her house and cover the fucking story.
Nah, nah, this seal's a true menace to society. No way. No way. Yo, imagine you calling to work and be like, yo, boss, I can't make it in, bro. He like, why? What happened? I have a big ass elephant seal blocking me from leaving my house. I can't even get into my car. I can't go out to get groceries. I'm stuck in the house. Oh my goodness. Yo, that's crazy. Only in Australia, bro.
Now, this is a lot of menace for a single seal to cause, but the funniest part of this is, old mate isn't even fully grown. He's like 5 years old. If you think he can fuck things up now, wait until he's nearly 2 solid-ass tons of blubber. And
holy shit. 4,000 pounds? No way. I gotta see that picture again.
Even fully grown. He's like 5 years old. If you think he can fuck things up now, wait until he's nearly 2.
That's an adult elephant seal. Holy shit. Yo. I need y'all to smash this like button. I need y'all to hit like at least 100K likes on this video. That's the only way I'm going over to Australia and seeing all these type of animals. That's the only way, because there's no way. If I see an elephant seal that big,
tons of blubber,
what?
And takes issue with the wall of your house. I do not think that seal damage is covered on my fucking insurance plan, dude.
Ooh.
People get shocked when I whip out like a flawless American accent, because I've got like a really thick Australian one, right? But I am not above just, I can't wait to go get like burgers later, man. I'm like so hyped for burgers, dude. I fucking love cheeseburgers. Dude, you know what?
Bro, it's scary how people from other countries can speak American so well, but we can't speak their language. Like, we can't have their accents, you know? I can get into a British accent once in a while, you feel me? Australian, I don't know, man. Like, you see, it's like, it's not it's not gonna roll off the tongue like how they do in English accent. Like that's
In the NFL, Super Bowl was crazy this year, man. Eagles just like fucking dumpstered the Chiefs, bro. It was crazy. Australia lost a war to emus. But how? How the did we lose an armed conflict with flightless birds?
Oh,
Well,
dear.
it all started in 1932 when farmers in Western Australia wanted to grow wheat. There was just one major problem. That's emu territory. And emus really like wheat. And coming in at 6 foot tall and 40 kilos in weight, they can eat a lot of it. So when breeding season came around, the emus migrated through the farmland, and these poor farmers were overwhelmed by a tyrannid swarm of man-sized poultry, 20,000 emus strong. These feathered tanks then
20,000?
proceeded to completely steamroll through the fences into the fields and started laying waste to the wheat. The farmers attempted to fight back the initial wave with rifle fire, but their efforts were, putting it lightly, completely useless. This ginormous L made the farmers pretty bloody angry, so they gathered together and went to the government to ask for help. Sir, 20,000 emus have hit the wheat fields. Me, mate. And so the government declared the emus enemies of the state and sent it.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. The Australian government had to deal with a lot of animal problems. Oh my god. I think the first was the toad. Like, y'all remember if y'all I reacted to the toad video like, I don't know, probably a month ago. Go check out that video. But yeah, I'm not gonna, they had to deal with the toad. Now emus, bro. Yo. I don't think they got any. I think the only conflicts Australia has is against animals. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is crazy.
The army to commence the Great Emu War. The entire 7th Heavy Artillery Division was deployed to WA, armed with 2 LMGs, 10,000 rounds, and the sole objective to blast anything with feathers. Excessive for an overgrown turkey, if you ask me, and upon their first deployment, the army immediately ran into a major problem. Emus are fast. I am speed.
Oh yeah, they're fast.
Really fast, clocking a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour, which meant that once they opened fire, the emus would immediately bolt out of range of their weapons. But they still took a crack at it, and then immediately stopped when both LMGs jammed after only dropping 12 emus. This embarrassment led the army to retreat and rethink their plan. So a few weeks later they returned, this time mounting the LMGs on trucks in an attempt to run the birds down. However, this also didn't work, because after figuring out that those trucks meant they were about to be turned into a KFC family bucket, the emus started leaving scout birds who would warn the flock of the approaching trucks, which gave them all enough time to book it before the army even got there.
Their brains are developing. Yo, what? Scout birds? No way, bro.
And whenever they did catch the emus, they found out they were kind of... Because emus are mostly feathers, and there's a lot of places you can hit on them without doing any damage, meaning it was taking around 10 bullets for every 1 bird. So after a month of blood, sweat, tears, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, the army managed to bring down 160. The population...
10,000 bullets. 10,000 bullets. And you're saying they only got 960 emus? Oh yeah, fire all of them. Fire every one of these. Yo, fire them all. They're not veterans anymore. Revoke their veteran license. Whatever it is called, revoke it. Because what? Only 9. Yo. That's crazy. Should have just put some landmines around the place. Like,
was 20,000. This was an issue as, unlike America, our defence budget is not a bottomless pit. So the army had wasted all that money to achieve absolutely all. So, the government just kind of built a really long, really fence around the farms and called it a day. How the did we lose this? I could have done a better job with a boomerang and a cricket bat.
oh dear.
I have been assaulted by a cow. One of the cows is called Monty, and he's an adolescent, and I made the mistake of turning around for like 5 seconds.
Sheesh.
And in that 5 seconds, this 500-kilo cow runs up behind me while I'm sorting out his food and tries to mount me.
Mopars, you saying you was getting back shots from a cow? No way. Yo. Yo, what the fuck am I hearing? No way. Oh my god. Only in Australia? No, no, no. Like, that's crazy, bro.
He nearly squished me. If I hadn't been hitting legs, I would have been squashed by a horny cow.
That would be crazy. Oh my god.
This bird has to rearrange its organs and skeleton just to lay an egg. This cute little guy is the kiwi bird, a species of ratite native to New Zealand this time, and the absolute poster child for getting cucked by evolution. You see, this walking featherball is actually directly related to the emu, ostrich, and cassowary, being a member of the same family of flightless birds. However, there is a problem.
They got
You
nerfed
see,
crazy.
the rest of the kiwi's bloodline actually looked up a build guide before picking their stat spread. As such, made sure to trade the whole flying thing for something useful, with all of his cousins specking into speed, size, and some kind of offensive capability. So that leaves the question, what did the kiwi pick to make up for not flying? Absolutely nothing.
I got nerfed.
Kiwis are tiny in comparison to their relatives, coming to near only 4 kilos in weight and 50 centimeters tall. This is because kiwis evolved largely on an island with no natural predators, so they downsized and traded out the knife feet and bloodlust for just being a little guy with a good attitude. Honestly worked pretty well for them until the British did British things, and now they have to deal with cats and dogs trying to eat them. And considering this build was not designed for PvP, they have been clapped so hard by invasive species that they are now unfortunately an endangered animal. Getting shafted by the British is just the beginning of the generational violation of the kiwi, because these poor feathered fruits can't even reproduce without getting f***ed over. You see, the kiwi bird's cousins are famous for laying huge eggs. I'm talking hit your protein macros in one meal-sized eggs, and you would think that is because they are large. And you would be wrong, because their vertically challenged cousins have to lay eggs the same size. A kiwi bird lays eggs 20% the size of their body. With them being so bloody large, it rearranges their internal organs and stretches their rib cage just to be able to hold the thing. For reference, that is like a human giving birth to a 15-kilo child. That's not a bun in the oven anymore, that's a whole bakery.
That's
There's a
crazy.
big ass huntsman that used to live in my house, and I'm gonna be honest, dude, I kind of just let him hang out. He ain't f***ing small, I'll tell you that much. There's a huntsman, and then I was quite happy to let him just chill, because I never saw a mosquito or a fly in that house. So he was.
Hey. Hey. He did his part in the household. You feel me? He exterminated. That's what his job is there for. But hell no, that's a big ass spider. Fuck no, I'm not. No. Oh my god, size 14 to it's Matizi to. Alright, let me relax.
Paying rent in his own way, you know?
I'm dead. Yo, tickling the spider's crazy.
Scientists just de-extincted a 12,000-year-old dog. Well, kinda. You see, a bioengineering company called Colossal has dedicated itself to doing what every single Jurassic Park film has told us is a bad idea. Bringing back extinct species. And recently, they made a breakthrough. They have managed to bring back the 12,000-year-old direwolf. You know those big-ass puppies from Game of Thrones that the Starks had? Yeah, those are actually a real-ass animal, alive during the late Ice Age. And the best way I can describe them to you is, basically a wolf on steroids. These things were bigger, faster, and stronger, estimated to have the highest bite force out of any canine. And in a move that I'm sure has no implications, they have managed to bring these bad boys back to life. These two little guys are now 6 months old and have been living on a private plot of land with 24/7 veterinary care. However, they've only just been shown off to the public, with the company going so far as to get a photo op with George R.R. Martin holding one of these adorable little killing machines, showing that man will
That's
literally
crazy.
interact with an extinct species before he finishes that last book. There is, however, one small problem. This isn't technically a direwolf. You see, by merit of them being extinct, short of specking into necromancy, you can't exactly bring them back.
You gotta.
Which is where this guy comes in. You see, the grey wolf shares 99.5% of its genetic code with the direwolf. So, using CRISPR gene editing, they basically toss the grey wolf back into the spore creator, then using the code found in direwolf fossils as a build guide, juiced the out of it, boosting the size slider and putting some extra points into strength, as well as adjusting its head shape and teeth. All in all, they made a total of 20 edits to 14 genes, producing the closest thing we can get to a direwolf short of time travel. Which is cool as
That's crazy, bro.
I can get 5 years before a man-made horror beyond comprehension breaks out of that lab and we are all playing Resident Evil.
I swear to God, if that happens, oh my God. The amount of AKs I'm buying for the house. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, everyone in my family is being protected. That's I'm gonna let you know now. You feel me?
This bear was actually a soldier.
What?
But how? You see, it was 1942, and the 22nd Polish Artillery Company were passing through the mountains of Iran, on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd, looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced a burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered as a trade deal. The
That's
Polish
crazy.
looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad law, said, "Damn good deal." In the most worthwhile trade deal in history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Wojtek.
Hey. That's not a half bad idea, bro. Because even though bears are crazy scary, they're basically like dogs. Big furry dogs that can climb trees, you know? So they could be loyal once you treat them right, you know? Imagine that on the front line with you. One of them gotta be riding it. One of them gotta be riding it into the battle with his gun, just with the bear just like yo.
The 22nd immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier. Maggots! As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as well as feeding him on the cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed a soldier as his caretaker, who wasted no time in showing Wojtek how to fit in with the rest of the army, teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Wojtek would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day, and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would wrestle with them. Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle you? On top of double rations, they would also feed Wojtek treats in the form of beer and cigarettes. They let the bear have smoko. Eventually, Army High Command heard about this and were having absolutely none of it. You see, pets were not allowed in the army, which meant Wojtek had to go. Or did he? Because the 22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
Oh.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
Wojtek was given a serial number and granted the rank of private, so when confronted about the very conspicuous bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Wojtek."
They made a bear into a private, bro. Oh my God. I love the loopholes. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. That is smart. That is smart as hell.
And Wojtek took his new role very seriously, as during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, Wojtek began using his bulk to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in combat. They had a fucking resupply bear. For his bravery, he was promoted to the rank of corporal, and the 22nd changed their insignia.
They made him into corporal? No way, no. They have a resupply bear, and they made him into corporal, bro. Yo, I know some of the soldiers must be jealous. They're like, how does bear get corporal? I'm still a fucking soldier. Some measly private.
To a bear carrying an artillery shell.
That's
This
crazy.
absolute unit smoked, drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis. Based.
Hey. Hey, he's a trooper.
Australia has just found zombified bugs.
What?
That's right, we are closer to the Walking Dead Down Under than you think. You see, just recently, a scientist by the name of Dr. Francois Brassard made a trek out to the remote savannah of the Northern Territory with the goal of finding and cataloguing brand new species of insect unknown to science. I mean, me personally, I think we found more than enough bugs, especially considering that half of them can send me directly into the fucking soil.
Oh,
I know, right?
don't need
Anyway,
no more
on his
bugs.
trip to the middle of fucking nowhere, he stumbled across a colony of spiny savannah ants, which is a pretty normal thing to find out there. However, getting closer, he noticed something a little off. You see, the main ant colony was fine, completely normal. However, the several disfigured and deformed ant corpses clamped onto shoots of grass surrounding the colony like a Bug's Life version of Vlad the Inhaler, yeah, those were significantly less normal. Brassard, mildly unsettled by the ant gore on his timeline, took samples for inspection and upon getting a closer look, realised something both really cool and really spooky. The ants had been overtaken by fungus. More accurately, a previously unknown strain of the cordyceps fungus, infamous around the globe for its ability to create zombie bugs. And the way it does it is unbelievably horrific. You see, it begins with a spore landing on an ant and producing a thin rope-like strand that penetrates and attaches to their exoskeleton. At which point the ant gets a little timer on his hotbar, counting down to a family reunion with his ancestors. Once inside, the fungus begins to take control of the ant's body and brain function, completely changing their behaviour, replacing their colony-focused mindset with one single goal: climb. Its fungus-riddled mind drags its rapidly deteriorating body to the closest high point, which is usually a plant, with its final act being to clamp its mandibles onto the stem in a death grip, finally succumbing to the infection and being completely consumed, its corpse blossoming into a fully grown cordyceps fungus and raining down spores onto the rest of the colony to continue the cycle of infection. Now look, I know this fungus is found elsewhere in the world, but it's a new strain and it was found in Australia. With my luck, I'm going to be playing The Last of Us against couch-sized spiders within the fucking week.
We're cooked, chat. We're cooked. Like, comment, subscribe on the video. Let's get this video to like 1,000 likes. I know we can do it. Be safe on these streets. Listen to your parents. Peace.